Jalen Hurts and the Eagles strapping on the pads today for the first of two joint practices against the Browns. Cleveland rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders limited with an oblique injury he suffered earlier in the day. A.J. Brown spectator on the sidelines as well. But in the end, a chance to rub elbows with another team. Eagles rookie, wow, this is awesome. Jahad Campbell spending some time after practice with Browns All-Pro and all-timer Myles Garrett. And with that, we welcome you here to Birds Huddle, presented proudly by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL, alongside Barrett Brooks. I am Amy Fiddle. A chance to see some live reps. Eagles starters against another team, so that's always good. A different color uniform is fun in practice. What stood out to you?
We got a physical team. We got a good football team. You know, it was good being out there, watching those guys run around in controlled settings. You know, that's the big thing. You know, they could go out there, they could do 4th and 1. They could do goal line. They could do situations like that. Situational football is why you have these kind of joint practices. So, I mean, I enjoyed that aspect of it.
All right, with more on how things went down, Ashlyn Sullivan has our training camp report presented by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on.
Day one of joint practice here at the NovaCare Complex going against the Cleveland Browns, and multiple Eagles players telling us the element of surprise is a real thing. Finally, going up against someone else other than the Eagles defense, the Eagles offense, was a bit refreshing today.
You learn a lot. You learn a lot about where you are, and then you learn about where you have opportunity to go. And I think today was very competitive. I've always enjoyed every joint practice just from that state. And then we got a lot of guys not practicing as well, and so being able to put guys in different situations and just build and learn. And the Browns are always a great team to compete against. They got a great talent.
Going up against a different offense, how much does it give you an appreciation to go up against this Eagles offense the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been, you know, you see so many looks from our offense, and you start to get a feel for them. You know, and then you see something new. It's good to, you know, be able to have to adapt.
The Cleveland Browns, a really talented defensive line, and of course one of the best pass rushers in the game, Myles Garrett. But it was going against someone else's defense or offense that told the Eagles they have really good talent in-house.
Ultimately, you know, we're making each other better. You know, I love going against the defense, love going against Q. Guys, you know, they're going to make it tough on us, and, you know, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, we're out here competing to make each other better so we can do what we want to do.
They look like they have some dudes up front. And they have some experience in the back end, whether that's experience of like years in the league or just guys that, you know, have a good feel for the game. And they're very well coached. I know that. So they got a lot of things going for them.
Another joint practice against the Cleveland Browns on the horizon before a preseason game. Reporting from the NovaCare Complex, I'm Ashlyn Sullivan, NBC Sports Philadelphia.
All right, that brings us to our three-point stance presented by Toyota. First up, the Eagles are worlds better than the Browns. Might not have been a domination of practice, but the Eagles prove they are the superior team despite not having A.J. Brown and Landon Dickerson. And I know it's a lower bar, Barrett, but it is a starting team, and their defense is quite good on the Browns.
Yeah,
we'll give them that.
They are
they have no quarterback.
Team. Exactly. They are an NFL team, but at the end of the day, you got to be out there at least competing. And they were competing, but not to the level that the Eagles are. I looked at it as this. When you look at a team like the Browns, you look at a team like the Eagles, our second team is just as good as their first team. And, you know, that's I mean, you don't want to say that, but then you see and give an eye test, you see how good this defense and offense could be. I'll watch our number ones against their number ones. Of course, you know, they have a dude. When I say a dude, Myles Garrett. I mean, this guy's, you know, a ball player. But then you look at, you know, Flacco. Flacco was throwing dimes and everything else and giving these guys, you know, good run for their money. But a lot of the times I'm seeing, you know, their twos against our ones. Our ones are going out there and giving them the business too, you know, and their ones against our twos. We're kind of hanging in there with them. So we're at a point, you know, in my analysis of how good this Eagles team is. Of course, they got to see. This is the first time they get live action. The ones got live action against, you know, another team in another jersey. And when they saw how good they are, they had to look at each other like, man, we are pretty good. Yeah. We can't play this game. We should be thinking a lot more of ourselves than we are, but I know they're not because they're preparing like a champion. When you go against a number one team and it's not your guys, it should be easier because you're going against an even better team in practice that you've practiced over like the last 14 times. So I understand what they went through. I went through the same thing when I was with the Steelers. Our number ones were the best in the country. We're the best in the NFL. So when I went to a game, it was a lot easier than it was in practice. So I think they're kind of feeling the same way.
Yeah, speaking of champions, Jalen Hurts will be locked in when week one rolls around. The Eagles quarterback was asked if his confidence has grown since he won the Super Bowl. So let's take a listen.
You chase a dream, and everybody's dream is to do that. And so once you know that you can, it brings a sense of assurance that you can. If I've done it before, why couldn't I do it again? And so it's about knowing where you are as a team, being able to put all those things together to find a way to bring the best out of what the moment demands. And so that's where I am as a quarterback. There is definitely a sense of confidence. It's all about winning for me and trying to experience that feeling more and more.
All right, so at the joint practice, probably wasn't his best day for Jalen Hurts, but when the lights come on, he shines the brightest. We've seen that in the Super Bowl twice now. We've certainly seen it in the playoffs. And you say he's going to be ready week 1.
He definitely will be, because I look at Jalen Hurts and how he's playing this game. He's taken everything and lifted this team up, and he realized, yes, I'm a quarterback. And he said in that interview, yes, I'm the quarterback. I'm the guy that has to get everybody going. I have to make sure that I'm raising people to a higher standard, a higher level. So, yes, there is an expectation is that I have to be great in order for everybody else to be great. And, when he heard the question, do you think you've gotten better? Do you think that, at this point, you're more confident in what you're doing? And he had to think about it for a second, like, yeah, I am more confident, but he really didn't know how to really answer it at first because he was inquisitive on why would he even ask that question. So, I love the fact that he did. And when he got off from the interview, he asked the guy a question, why would you even ask that question? So he's getting better. He wants everybody else to see he's getting better. But the biggest thing is he's lifting that team as he's rising up to also. All
right, our third stance, Myles Garrett. He would have looked really nice in Eagles green.
Absolutely.
Probably a pipe dream, but at one point, you'll remember he did request a trade. The Browns, of course, then signed him to a 4-year, $160 million deal, so that didn't happen. But if only there was some world that this could. Look at this guy's pedigree. He is a tremendous player, defensive player of the year just a couple of years ago.
Oh, man, it's like, it's like he was just formed out of steel, molten steel. Like they just poured him in and made the perfect football player. This guy is big, strong, fast, explosive. I think, if I wanted to equate him to anybody, I would say it would be Mr. White. And I have not, equated anybody to Mr. White. Mr. White is special, Reggie White. He's special to me because he's the best player to ever put on a uniform to this day. Put on a helmet, he's still the best player ever. But if there's any player that I would say close, and I'm just going Aaron Donald, I'm going to say Myles Garrett because he's so, he's such a big physical guy. But one thing, that he isn't, he's not really a mean guy.
Yes, he's always smiling.
He's the nicest guy in the world. He's talking to guys, everything. And you usually don't do that, but he's the nicest guy in the world. And I think if he was mean, he'd be even better than he is now, So I like the fact that he took time. He's taking time to talk to our different players,
Yeah, like Jahad Campbell.
Jahad Campbell. He talked to, mostly anybody want to talk to him. Yeah. So he's just a great guy, great guy. If he was mean, I'm glad he wasn't. I can remember, interviewing him back when he was in college. And he was talking about dinosaurs and stuff like that. He's just a great guy, nice guy.
And it's like those pictures of him. He doesn't even look like he needs shoulder pads.
No.
He's just a massive dude.
Right.
He's a massive dude.
If I was him, I would never earn a shirt. I would never own a shirt, period. I'd walk around without a shirt just...
But you want him to be mean Joe Green.
Where you going? You want to go to the beach? Yeah, we're going to the beach.
Yeah, where's the gym at? That way. All right, let's check out the playbook presented by Supercuts when we come back. Barrett's going to predict the camp competitions, tell us who will start come week 1. Dave Zangaro and Ruben Frank are going to give us their best takeaways from the joint practice today. And the Eagles named their Hall of Fame class for 2025. Find out who is being honored. This is Birds Huddle presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL.